Yeah, buried in a cheap suit, flowers on a rusted gate. Clock stopped ticking when I chose another fate. Hard wind, silent city, never hit the brakes. Now I walk the underworld that every coward hates. I died in a bedroom full of quiet regrets, scrolling through a life that I never really met. Empty little promises, numbers on the screen, face in the mirror that I couldn't keep clean. Now I wake up where the concrete sweats, neon veins pulse on the broken steps, graffiti halos over busted doors. Rats is witnesses, hunger is the law. Steel ball spine and the rebar soul. Breathe, taste dust, but the lungs stay bold. Every bruise on the wall got a name I know. Every scar on my chest is a debt I owe. Turn my funeral in the first day out. Morning suit ripped, now it's chains and crouch. Push the floor down when I press that bar. City in my grip like a prison yard. Every staircase feels like a final climb. Every rep that I pull rewrites my crime. Oh, self-ghost, screaming stay the same. I slam it in the pavement when I load that plate. I left my coffin in a rented room, swept their weakness with the metal broom. Hear that thunder when the barbell flies. Street light halo where the old me dies. I was dead in a quiet life, now I breathe through still tonight. Reborn in the concrete afterlife, where the broken rise to fight. Sweat drips heavy like a cemetery rain. Every single rep is a shovel in my grave. I was dead in the quiet life, now I bleed in neon light. Reborn in the concrete afterlife. Hear the echo when the chain plates clash, sound like shots in a cul-de-sac. Ghost of my comfort tries to pull me back. I drown it in the rhythm of the deadlift rap. Street lamp flickers like a failing heart. Every blackout moment is a brand new start. When my grip against the slip from the rust and chalk. I remember being small and I tear that lock. Used to beg for a ladder, now I carve my own. Pull up bar hanging like a hanging phone. Every call from the past goes straight to tone. Voice in my head, learn to stand alone. Sweat stains on the hoodie like a war paint script. Veins on my forearms run cold and thick. City on my shoulders like a loaded yoke. I walk slow motion through the smog and smoke. Now the stairwell smells like rebirth dust. Concrete altar where I swear my trust. Iron communion bar to the chest. Breath explodes wild like a ride in the flesh. I left my coffin in the rented room, swept their weakness with the metal broom. Hear that thunder when the barbell flies. Street light halo where the old me dies. I was dead in a quiet life, now I breathe through steel tonight. Reborn in the concrete afterlife, where the broken rise to fight. Sweat drips heavy like a cemetery rain. Every single rip is a shovel in my grave. I was dead in the quiet life, now I bleed in the neon light. Reborn in the concrete afterlife. Old heartbeat was a fragile drum, now it slams like a bass in the parking slum. Rust on the rail, blood on the grip. Every slip is a verse that I still won't skip. Staring at the sky with a ball on my back. Stars look small from the bottom of the stack. Fate got cracks like the sidewalk lines. I break through everyone when I grind my spine. I was dead in the quiet life, now I roll through iron nights. Reborn in the concrete afterlife, built by scars in city lights. Sweat falls heavy like a cemetery rain. Every single breath is a nail in my chains. I was dead in the quiet life, now I own this neon sky. Reborn in the concrete afterlife, where the weak parts finally die. If they ask where the old me went, point to the weight in the wet cement. Name on the stone that'll never be read, because I walk this block like the living dead.
Glass towers watching while I fix my tie. Elevator mirrors never show what's inside. Footsteps quiet on the marble floor, but the hunger follows like a shadow at war. I used to bleed on the curb where the street lights on. Now I walk through a lobby where the cold suits come. Same heartbeat, different rhythm in the walls. Predator patience in these corporate halls. Polished shoes, but the mind stays savage. Gold cuff links on a blueprint of damage. I study every weakness like a ledger sheet. Then I tear through limits when my lungs can't breathe. My instincts sharpen when the lift doors slide. Feel the beast in my ribs when I swallow my pride. They talk so collar, there's a scar from the night when the city asked me if I fold or fight. Now I smile like a gentleman sipping truth, but the jawline hides fangs made for breaking rules. I play polite while I track my prey. Grip the bar and the fear fades away. Strength grows louder than the lies they sue. Hear the wolf when the heartbeat shoots. I look clean in the city suit, but the fire never comes. Every step in the marble room is a war inside my palms. They see charm on the surface, but the engine underneath turns a handshake to a warning, and the silence in the teeth. My reflection glitches when the pressure hits. Ties stay smooth while the post commits. Penthouse lights flash like a call to sign, telling me the battlefield is dressed in shine. In the boardroom chairs I smell old fear. Same sin as the alleys I used to hear. Voices polished, trying to act like kings, but they words collapse when the wolf one swings. Clock hits midnight and the mask comes off. I run these streets with the breath too rough. Gym lights buzzing like a neon band. Iron in my hands like a kill again. Every rep is revenge for the nights I shook. Every scar is a chapter they never took. Now I climb each building like a contract signed with the blood of a man I refuse to rewind. I play polite while I track my prey. Grip the bar and the fear fades away. Strength grows louder than the lies they sue. Hear the wolf when the heartbeat shoots. I look clean in the city suit, but the fire never comes. Every step in the marble room is a war inside my palms. They see charm on the surface, but the engine underneath turns a handshake to a warning, and the silence in the teeth. Midnight balcony, city glowing wide. I breathe deep, the animal doesn't hide. Fine fabric folded on the railing edge. Wolf eyes locked on another place. I look clean in a city suit, but the core is built to bite. Every step in the marble room is a storm preparing flight. They see charm on the surface, but the heartbeat underneath beats a rhythm that the hunter hears before they fall asleep. When the morning comes and I choose my route, they'll remember the day they met the wolf in a suit. Cold breath in an empty room, broken clock ticking like a distant wound. Shadows crawl on a concrete bed, only sound is the war inside my head. I trained in the dark where the weak fall back. Lungs on fire in an alley painted black. Fists got stories that they never confessed. Every rep was a ride in my hollow chest. Pressure made a cradle out of iron pain. Heartbeats crash like a runaway train. Nothing in my pocket but a scar-shaped wheel, and the promise to the mirror that I learned to kill. Not a soul showed up when the lights went low. Silence in the stairwell taught me how to grow. I built a backbone out of every failed night. Every bruise on my ribs is a signature of fight. I felt fear drip down like a leaking pipe. Turned it into fuel when the stakes got right. Now the sweat on the floor forms a battlefield line, and the person I was never crossed is mine. Every breath sharp like a blade in my teeth. Every second heavier than the weight beneath. I see the man I was begging to break free, but he's buried in the gravel where I learned to be. There's no mercy left in me, just fire in the frame. Every step I take is a rewrite of the shame. If the world wants a monster, I'll train until I'm whole. Turn my suffering to muscle, turn my hunger to control. Street light buzzing on a rusted fence, so stitched tight with adrenaline thread. Handshake, one stand grip like steel. Body redefines what the heart can feel. Bar on my back like a sentence pass. Chalk on my palms like a funeral mask. Breath comes heavy but the fear stays gone. Found my place where the pressure stays strong. I remember nights with a hollow chest, weeks spent drowning in my own unrest. Now I load the bar like a burial right, for the man who begged for an easier fight. Everything I carry has a cost I paid. Weight of the past and the life I made, but the ground feels warmer when the rage ignites, and the pain rewrites all my lost good nights. Every breath sharp like a blade in my teeth. Every second heavier than the weight beneath. I see the man I was begging to break free, but he's buried in the gravel where I learned to be. There's no mercy left in me, just fire in the frame. Every step I take is a rewrite of the shame. If the world wants a monster, I'll train until I'm whole. Turn my suffering into muscle, turn my hunger to control. Echoes of the past try to grab my wrist, but my pulse beats louder when the world resists. City lights flicker like a dying plea. I walk through the smoke where the beasts agree. There's no mercy left in me, just heat in my bones. I rebuild my faith from the weight I've thrown. If the world wants thunder, I'll roar until I'm free. Strength in my scars, no mercy left in me. If they ask where the weakness went, point them to the floor where the iron bent. Name carved deep into the steel I breathe, proof that I became what I dared to be.
Lights cut sharp on the midnight floor. Breath hits cold like a closing door. Pressure in my spine like a fault line crack. Every step forward leaves the weak ones back. I walk through fire with a soft heart split. Heat so loud it made my shadow quit. Pain kept carving every angle clean, turning all my breakdowns into something mean. Stared at the mirror where the fractures grew. Saw a ghost version I refused to pursue. Hands kept shaking but I held that bar. Weight so heavy it could bend a star. People whispered I was losing grip. Didn't know pressure was my kind of script. Didn't know diamonds start as dirt till the world applies enough damn hurt. Veins run tight when the steel plate hits. Mind stays silent while the tension lifts. Sweat hits ground like a slow rain drum. That's the sign another level's come. When the world leans in trying to crush my frame, I keep rising through the force like a sparking flame. What they call collapse is a force to me. Every fracture gleams when the dust breaks free. Diamond pressure shake my core. Every crack I had became something more. When the weight comes down, I don't fold or flee. I turn the whole damn storm into clarity. I've been pressed in corners where the cold bites deep, where the nights hit harder than the dreams I keep. But the pressure sharpened every breath I drew, till the scars on my chest felt like something new. Iron in my grip like a vow I made. Steel in my stance where my fears decay. Heat in my blood when the tempo peaks. Building something real where the hopeless speak. People walk safe with the padded truth. I trained on the edge with a shattered youth. Now the glow in my eyes cuts through the dark. A reflection born from a furnace spark. Rep after rep the collapse reversed. Strength came back with a hunger curse. Now I brace myself when the tension nears. Pressure clears the weak and crowns. When the world leans in trying to crush my frame, I keep rising through the force like a sparking flame. What they call collapse is a forge to me. Every fracture gleams when the dust breaks free. Diamond pressure shake my core. Every crack I had became something more. When the weight comes down, I don't fold or flee. I turn the whole damn storm into clarity. Diamond pressure shake my core. Every crack I had became something more. When the weight comes down, I don't fold or flee. I turn the whole damn storm into clarity. Glass breaks quick when the world is hard, but the stone inside grows battle scarred. He makes truth from the lies we chase. Pressure turns a fracture to a razor's grace. Diamond pressure shake my core. Every fault line now a sharpened roar. When the weight comes down, I don't fold or flee. I rise cut clean in a state they'll never be. If they ask how I glitter in the dark like this, tell them pressure kissed me with an iron fist. Diamond glow born from agony. Proof the world can't break what it built in me.
Rain hits metal like a heartbeat lost. Fog in the tunnel with a lonely cross. Dust on sneakers from a childhood crack. Silhouette of a tribe that never looked back. We grew up where the highway roared. Stone cold nights on a broken floor. Graffiti spelling out the names we wore. Every scar a badge from the days of war. Street lamp halos on our hungry eyes. Dinner was the echo of the passing rides. Bench press dreams on a rusted rail. Strength built slow where the weak ones fail. Concrete blankets for the winter nights. Warm from the sparks when the steel ignites. Push-ups carved beneath traffic noise. Breath sinking with the engine's voice. No saviors, walking through the underpass dust. Only cracked up courage and the grit we trust. Every kid there carried a storm inside, waiting for a moment to collide and ride. Heartbeats pounding like a subway drum. Every fear vanished when the cold winds come. Ironing our fists from the bars we claim. Running through the dark where the city stayed unnamed. We are children of the overpass, built through grit and stone. Raised by the thunder overhead, shaped by a world unknown. When the weight hits hard, we remember those nights and the hunger that carved our bones. And the steel for life, saw the world from the cracks in the concrete seam. Found truth in the rumble of the truck's loud screams. Pull-up bars welded on a scaffold frame, where we sculpted bodies no teacher could tame. Every morning the frost bit deep, but ambition kept burning underneath. Dreams didn't sleep in the place that rough, so we learned to turn struggle into something tough. When the city forgot us, we forged our own law. Hard work sharper than a jagged claw. Sweat dripping rhythm on the dirt below. Every rep a revolt we refuse to outgrow. Now we sprint through tunnels with a fire that lasts. Past versions of ourselves that broke too fast. We train like prophets in the world of wreck, preaching with the weight that bends our neck. Heartbeats pounding like a subway drum. Every fear vanished when the cold winds come. Iron in our fists from the bars we claim. Running through the dark where the city stayed unnamed. We are children of the overpass, built through grit and stone. Raised by the thunder overhead, shaped by a world unknown. When the weight is hard, we remember those nights and the hunger that carved our bones. In the steel for life, street dust rising as we chase our fate. Under steel giants that never wait. Ghosts of our past try to pull us back, but we sprint through the echo of the railroad track. We are children of the overpass, lit by the sparks we make. Bending down with the wheel, no fear can take. When the world looks down, we rise from beneath. The tribe of the underground, carved in concrete. If you listen close, where the engines crash, you'll hear our legacy in the shadow flash. Children of the overpass, forever beneath, but built so strong, sky learned to breathe.
Sun hits hard on my skull like a war drum crack. Breath feels molten but I never step back. Heat wave crawling through my wired up spine. Every thought turns gasoline inside my mind. I walk in the gym like a desert storm. Heat stroke brain in the battle form. Adrenaline boiling in the pressure dome. When the weight hits metal, that's my home. Vision flickers like a flame on glass. Pulse goes wild but I still surpass. Sweat hits ground like an engine burst. Mind overheating but I shape it first. People say slow down but I raise the bar. Head on fire like a burning star. I don't cool off when the world says freeze. I sprint through sand with a brain like heat. Focus locked in a furnace zone. Heartbeats punching through the marrow bone. Every rep slams loud like a seismic wave. Heat stroke mine but the grind's my rave. Temperature climb but I don't unwind. If the world gets too heavy I take it a line. When the sweat turns smoke and the lungs turn tight, I burn through limits in a blinding light, yeah. Heat stroke mine on a full blast run. Brain on fire but I still get it done. Pressure on max like a midday sun. I live till the whole damn world comes undone. Heat stroke mine and the flames don't fade. I rise when the hardest hits get made. Heat in my blood like a war upgrade. I push till the steel itself gets afraid. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sandstorm thoughts when the beat goes loud. Move so sharp they could cut through clouds. Body runs hot like a furnace spark, turning every weak pulse into brutal art. Dry throat burning but I never choke. Rage in my chest like a lightning stroke. Heat wave rhythm in a violent swing. I press to the plate, start echoing. Eyes locked forward through the dust I kick. Mind so lit it can melt through brick. This isn't struggle, this is pure ignite. Heat stroke state where the strong unite. Every setback melts in the solar blast. I don't slow down, I move too fast. Gym floor trembling when my stance connects. Heat stroke brain making power reflect. Temperature climb but I don't unwind. If the world gets heavy I take it a line. When the sweat turns smoke and the lungs turn tight, I burn through limits in the blinding light. Yeah. Heat stroke mind on a full blast run. Brain on fire but I still get it done. Pressure on max like a midday sun. I live till the whole damn work comes undone. Heat stroke mind and the flames don't fade. I rise when the hardest hits get made. Heat in my blood like a war upgrade. I push till the steel itself gets afraid. Yeah, break, 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 yeah, break. Mirage on the ground when my footsteps land, but the strength stays real when I raise my stand. Heat in my skull like a battle sign, burning everything that tries to cross my line. Heat stroke mind, break the limits I find. I don't cool down, I was built redesigned. Sun in my chest like a furnace divine. I train till the fire becomes my spine. If the sky burns out and the world rewinds, I'll still be here with a heat stroke mind. Breathe in flames like a war sign. Power and flame, perfectly aligned. Yeah. Gold glare, hitting on my wrist like flame. Success on my skin, but it's carved from pain. Walk through the gym with a king-size pace. Every lift another scar replaced. I built my throne from the nights I bled. Turned every loss into bars I spread. Money on the table, but the grind came first. Sweat made diamonds in the place I burst. And paint shine on the bulletproof soul. Rage in the core, but the edges stay gold. Didn't get blessed, I collected my crown. Lifted that steel till the fear broke down. People talk loud when they see the change. Never saw the nights I survived my brain. Now the shine on my chest is a battle report. Proof that revenge is a violent sport. When I walk in the room, the light shift tone. Heat from my aura can melt through stone. Every rep cuts deep like a jewel blade swing. Fury polished clean like a royalty ring. Luxury hits different when you earn each scar. Glitter on my fist from the battle so far. Golden wrath rising every time I press. Power in the shine that they cannot assess. This is golden revenge. Every lift a rebirth, turn struggle to a kingdom, build fire out of dirt. When I flex through the pressure, the envy gets loud. Blow on my body like I stole the sun's crown. Golden revenge, painted bold in my veins. Strength with a sparkle that the weak can't claim. Every rep lands heavy with a royal intent. I rise through the weight like a sovereign event. Gold dust settling when the place collide. Flash in my eyes like a war inside, but the fury looks rich when the grind goes prime. Revenge never felt this sublime. New mindset dripping in luxury rage. No soft chapters in my sculpted page. I don't chase status, I make that shine. Turn a breakdown moment to a gilded design. Every chain I wear is a story lit. Born in the dark but I climb legit. Now the glow on my frame is a warning strike. Don't cross the path of a beast that's bright. Gym floor trembles when I step like this. Heat wave aura coated in bliss. Never forgot where the wounds began, but now they glitter on a golden plan. Luxury is different when you earn each scar. Glitter on my fist from the battle so far. Golden wrath rising every time I press. Power in the shine that they can't access. This is golden revenge. Every lift a rebirth, turn struggle to a kingdom, build fire out of dirt. When I flex through the pressure, the envy gets loud. Glow on my body like I stole the sun's crown. Golden revenge, painted bold in my veins. Strength with a sparkle that the weak can't claim. Every rap lands heavy with a royal intent. I rise through the weight like a sovereign event. Gold doesn't hide the fire I keep. It amplifies a rage I never let sleep. Crown in my chest where the furnace rests. Revenge dressed royal in the weight I press. I press, I press, I press. This is golden revenge, shining loud through the grind. Turn a broken youth to a regal design. Glow so bright you can feel the ascent. Power dressed heavy in a golden tent. When they ask how the crown got made, tell them sweat turned royal when the struggle was paid. Golden revenge carved deep in my stance. I'll walk like a king that refused this chance. Hey, yeah, da 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 da. Neon cuts cuts through smoke at 2 a.m. Runners masked up like a shadow regiment. Footsteps echo on the steel cold street. Every stride a signal that we never retreat. We move quick through the midnight zone. Heartbeats sync like a war drum clone. Dust kicks up when the pavement shakes. Our pulse turns alleys into hurricanes. Masks on tight like a ritual sign. Eyes locked forward in a battle line. No weak breath in the crew we run. We train like threats born under no sun. Street lights flicker when we dash past slow. City wakes up from the force we throw. Every rooftop feels our charge. Every setback learns who's large. When we sprint, the night gets tense. Our lungs burn hard like electric vents. Push past limits that the daylight fears. Night runner, syndicate shifting gears. Speed like fire in a tunnel blaze. Boots hit hard in a violent haze. Energy rising through the cracks of the grill. We run every ghost that the daylight hits. We are the night runner syndicate, built to dominate. Rushing through the shadows with a full force gate. Stealing our breath, thundering our feet. Every step a warning that we don't retreat. Night runner syndicate, rage in motion. City in our grip like a rising ocean. When the beat drops heavy, we ignite the street. Training like a storm you can't defeat. Hoodied up silhouettes in a concrete lane. Sweat hits cold like a pressure rain. Feet spark fire in the rapid strike. Moving as one with a feral spike. When the bass hits deep, we accelerate. Every muscle tuned to obliterate. Hills, rails, stairwells, fuel for the run. We swallow the city till the night is done. Flash of the mask when the moonlight bends. Crew formation, nobody defends. We don't slow down when the slope gets steep. Adrenaline climbs where the weak fall asleep. Iron in our lungs when we cut through wind. No fear left when the grind begins. Our motion rewrites the limits we hit. Night runner syndicate, fully committed. Speed like fire in a tunnel blaze. Boots hit hard in a violent haze. Energy rising through the cracks of the grill. We out on every ghost that the daylight hits. We are the night runner syndicate, built to dominate. Rushing through the shadows with a full force gate. Stealing our breath, thundering our feet. Every step a warning that we don't retreat. Night runner syndicate, rage in motion. City in our grip like a rising ocean. When the beat drops heavy, we ignite the street. Training like a storm you can't defeat. Moon on our backs like a combat flare. Wind slicing past like a sharpened snare. When the world sleeps off, we rise legit. Carving all power in the city's grit. Night runner syndicate, born to persist. Rage in our sprint like a clenched iron fist. City on fire when the crew commits. Strength at its peak in the darkest shift. When dawn rolls in and the streets turn still, we vanish like a rumor they can't fulfill. But the echo remain where our footsteps hit. Night runner syndicate, permanently lit. Permanently lit.
Yeah. It's the last Lloyd one.
Concrete, hummer dawn, chest tight, stands firm. Loyal to the grind, never switch, never turn. City keeps talking, but it never learn. I'm the last one standing when the bridge is burned. I stay real when the whole squad folded. Carry dead weight to the backbone molded. Pressure hit hard, but I never rerouted. Loyalty loud, even when they doubted. People flip sides when the shine came through. I kept pushing on till my veins ran blue. Never played safe when the stakes got tall. If the world turned cold, I still took that call. Trust got sharp like a blade in the ribs, but I held my line through the cracks and the skids. Every fake friend taught a new technique. Turn betrayal into fuel for the bars I speak. Now I walk with a fire they can't erase. Strength in my eyes, truth carved in my face. I train like a storm that refuses to run because loyalty built me. I'm the last loyal one. I don't fall when the pressure hits high. I don't shift when the surface splits. If the world goes silent, I don't come undone. I rise in the smoke as the last Lord one. I'm the last Lord one. Iron in my breath, stand when they scatter. Fight past death. Lord to the grind, to the pain, to the run. When the fakes disappear, I'm the last Lord one. I'm the last Lord one. Heart built up, never gave less when the nights got rough. When the world turns cold and the weak try to run, I stay unbroken as the last loyal. I saw crew after crew go ghost on the climb. People want glory, but they quit every time. I stayed locked in when the path got steep. Pushed through fire that the cowards won't keep. Barber loaded like a packed out sign. Drag that weight like a battle line. Loyalty's a muscle, you train it raw. Ripped and rebuilt under pressure law. My footsteps echo where the quitters fake. Every rep a reminder of the moves I made. Respect doesn't come from the words they speak. It comes from the nights where I never quit. Now the city knows when I step inside that I don't break and I don't divide. If the world goes dim and the fakes get spun, I stay in the center as the last Lord one. I don't fall when the pressure hits. I don't shift when the surface splits. If the world goes silent, I don't come undone. I rise in the smoke as the last Lord one. I'm the last Lord one. Iron in my breath, staying when they scatter, fight past death. Loyal to the grind, to the pain, to the run. When the fakes disappear, I'm the last Lord one. I'm the last Lord one. Heart built tough, never gave less when the nights got rough. When the world turns cold and the weak try to run, I stay unbroken as the last loyal one. True ones vanish when the storms get real, but I hold my ground where the force still will. Silence in the room when the weight's begun. All I shift toward the last one. I'm the last Lord one, built unmatched. Every scar earned, every promise attached. When the crowd fades out and the hard work's done, I walk out stronger as the last loyal one. If they ask why I never run, tell them strength stays loyal till the war is won. I'm the last of all, the last undone, and the city knows me as the last loyal one. As the last loyal one. As the last loyal one.
Lights bounce sharp off a fragmented face. 100 versions staring back in the same place. Each reflection whispering a different claim, but only the strongest one carries my name. I strap that mask on tight before the grind begins. Mirrors in the frame showing all my sins. Every flaw I bury comes alive in chrome. Every ghost version trying to drag me home, but I walk in the gym like a war reborn. Heartbeat slamming like a thunderstorm. Reflections twitch when the place gets stacked. Go sell a flinch, current self-attacks. I see the kid who quit, the one who cried, the one who ran slow, the one who lied. They glare back at me like a row of threats, but I kill them all clean when the barbell sets. Chrome mask, splitting every Dow I made. Vision lined up in a razor blade. No past weakness has authority here. My breath hits steel and the fears disappear. Mirrors cracking when the pressure spikes. Versions fade out when the new one strikes. Identity forged where the strong collide. Mask of a monster with the furnace inside. Mask made a mirror showing who I outgrew. Every rep deletes a version I once knew. When I step in the light, reflections scatter and flee, because the strongest in the glass are only one as me. Mask made a mirror forged under stress. Shattered expectations in a state of progress. When the weight hits loud, the illusion split free, and the fighter in the center is the one I choose to be. I see the lazy one breathing on the chrome, the scared one trembling, wanting to go home, the bitter one stuck in the loops of doubt, the quiet one waiting for the world to shout. They all scream loud when the pressure grows, but the mirror shakes when my true self glows. I lift that bar with the fire so wild, every false version gets exiled. Heat on my back when the grind expands, mask catches sparks from my calloused hands. Reflections break when my stance locks tight. Different eyes vanish when I fight. I'm not molded by the ghosts I see. I'm built from the force they failed to be. Mask stay shining while I crush that set. Every shattered face leaves no regret. Hey, mirrors cracking when the pressure spikes. Versions fade out when the new one strikes. Identity forged where the strong collide. Mask of a monster with the furnace inside. Hey, mask made a mirror showing who I outgrew. Every rep deletes a version I once knew. When I step in the light, reflections scatter and flee, because the strongest in the glass are only one as me. Mask made a mirror forged under stress. Shattered expectations in a state of progress. When the weight hits loud, the illusion split free, and the fighter in the center is the one I choose to be. Chrome mask glowing when the sweat drops fall. Versions watching from a fractured wall, but the one that survives when the echoes fade is the one I forged in the fire I made. Mask made a mirror sharpened by pain. Every past weakness washed out in the
now it reflects only me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heart hits hard like a turbine twist. Heat in my veins going ballistic quick. Breath turns fire when the plates unload. Jet fuel pulse pushing me into overload. Step in the gym like a runway blaze. Focus locked in the combustion phase. Every muscle prime like a launch command. Fuel in my blood that I can't withstand. Rib cage rattles when the beat goes wild. Power so violent it could crush a mile. Sweat drips fast like a gasoline spark. Pulse so loud it could light the dark. Mind locked tight in the thrust state zone. Vibe so strong they could bend my bones. Tension rising like a missile launch. Jet fuel heartbeat never moves too staunch. I'm built for impact, speed on high. Every rep punches like a jet stream cry. Engine in the chest with a meltdown glow. Jet fuel pulse when I steal the show. Temperature climbs when the grind takes hold. Hands stay burning but the heart won't fold. Breath turns smoke when the plates get thrown. Jet fuel rhythm in the world of stone. Jet fuel pulse in my chest so loud. Power in my veins like a thundercloud. When the wave comes crashing I don't slow down. I rise like a storm that can tear this town. Jet fuel pulse, ignition on sight. Heat running wild through the veins tonight. When the fire kicks in and the world turns red, I'll move with a force that the weak ones dread. Barbell bending when the engine peaks. Heartbeat slamming that insane techniques. Every second ticking like a countdown strike. Power overload when the gears ignite. Sweat steams off like a furnace breath. Strength so charged it can challenge death. Knees locked tight in a stance so mean. Pulse on blast like a war machine. When the baseline hits and the room goes dim, I shift in the drive with a violent brim. Nothing in the world can disrupt this state. Jet fuel running at a lethal rate. Tremor in the floor when my focus snaps. Every foot planted like a thunderclap. If momentum calls, I refuse to stall. Jet fuel pulse makes me 10 feet tall. Temperature climbs when the grind takes hold. Hands stay burning but the heart won't fold. Breath turns smoke when the plates get thrown. Jet fuel rhythm in the world of stone. Jet fuel pulse in my chest so loud. Power in my veins like a thundercloud. When the wave comes crashing I don't slow down. I rise like a storm that can tear this town. Jet fuel pulse, ignition on sight. Heat running wild through the veins tonight. When the fire kicks in and the world turns red, I move with a force that the weak ones dread. Engines roam where the shadows fade. Strength unlocked like a custom made. Boosting my soul when the atmosphere shakes. Jet fuel pulse, watch the whole room quake. Jet fuel pulse burning straight through steel. Nothing can stop what I came to feel. When the world goes heavy and the lights turn gold, I erupt like a power they can't control. When the beat slows down and the fire cools, I stand unbroken with electric rules. Jet fuel pulse carved deep in my frame. Engine for a body, fight for a name.
Dust kicks up on a long black road. Graves lined up when my old self froze. Heartbeat stomping like a war parade. Every step louder on the bones I lay.
I run through the cemetery built by my grind. Tombs of the versions I left behind. Weakness buried under steel and rage. Every mile turning pain to an upgraded stage. Shadows of who I was, reach for my feet, but my stride cuts clean like a war drum beat. Breath hits sharp like a blade through air. Who I used to be isn't welcome there. See the kid who quit, the one scared stiff. I crushed the coward with the deadlift riff. See the tired one waiting for life to shift. I put him in the ground when I learned to lift. Every grave on this path holds a name I wrote. Every failure drowned when I stayed afloat. Now the wind gets loud when my legs ignite. A whole graveyard shaken by the force I fight it.
I don't slow down when the past tries to cling. I stomp that dirt till the ghosts can't sing. Wrote the tombstones where I set myself free.
Cemetery of old cells built by me. I run the cemetery of old cells with pride. Every weakness shaking when I stride. When the world feels heavy and the pressure melts, I rise from the ground of my old dead self. Cemetery of old cells, power in my run. Every step roaring like a rising sun. Nothing from the past can hold my breath. I sprint through the ghosts till there's nothing left.
Cracks
stone dust in the air I breathe. Old versions whisper but I don't heed. They had their chance and they lost their fight. Now they sleep beneath my accelerated might. My muscles burn like a funeral flame, lighting up the path where I changed my name. Grave by grave I rebuilt my frame. Now I charge through the dirt like I own this game. Feet hit hard like a battle stamp. Ground responds with a primal vamp. Energy rising from the bones below. Fuel from the past turned into flow. I don't mourn who I killed to grow. Strength takes violence in this kind of show. Every version that couldn't withstand the heat became the ground I used to push my feet. I don't slow down when the past tries to cling. I stomp that dirt till the ghosts can't sing. Roll the tombstones where I set myself free. Cemetery of old cells built by me. I run the cemetery of old cells with pride. Every very weakness shaking when I stride. When the world feels heavy and the pressure melts, I rise from the ground to my old dead self. Cemetery of old cells, power in my run. Every step roaring like a rising sun. Nothing from the past can hold my breath. I sprint through the ghosts till there's nothing left. Dust turns gold when the stride stays true. Old cells crumble in the wake I brew. Glory grows loud in the steps I take. Cemetery echoes as the new me waits. I run the cemetery of old cells reborn. Every buried doubt now fuel for the storm. Power in the ground that I built myself. I rise on the graves of my old dead selves. When the run is done and the dust falls low, I bow to the path that helped me grow. Cemetery silent, new self set free. The man that I killed made the space for me. Hey. Books on the table, fists on the floor. Mind like a weapon, heart ready for war. Street-born genius with a rage technique. I study the chaos, then I break the weak. I quote theory while I crush these sets. Knowledge in my veins with a riot mindset. Brains on fire, muscles overclock. Philosophy hits harder when the cage gets locked. Read about willpower till the words turn steel. Now I deadlift truth that the world can't feel. Every bar I press is a thesis drop. Every rep a doctrine the cowards block. Libraries taught me how the kings once fought. Streets taught me what the textbooks forgot. When the two combine in the furnace frame, you get a riot scholar with a built-in flame. I walk through the gym like a rebel monk. Meditation in motion when the weights get sunk. Every breath is a lecture in control and grit, but the rage underneath could split concrete. Mind stays sharp when the world goes tense. Strength becomes logic when the grind gets dense. Wisdom in the chaos where the fists agree. Rise scholar rise in with a new degree. Mind stays sharp when the world goes tense. Strength becomes logic when the grind gets dense. Wisdom in the chaos where the fists agree. Rise scholar rise in with a new degree. I'm a Ryo scholar, brains on blast. Punchlines hit like a deadlift cast. Read the world's rules, then I broke them clean. Now I train with the fury no book has seen. Yeah, riot scholar, mind upgraded, muscles forged and adrenaline braided. When the beat goes wild and the weights collide, I turn every thought to a battle cry stride. Yeah, my footnotes scribbled in chalk on the ground. Thesis of a fighter with a warlike sound. Essays dripping from the sweat I shed. Knowledge rewritten in the reps I bled. I translated struggle into pure technique. Turn philosophy savage with a violent streak. People talk loud but they fail the test. I annotate power on my sculpted chest. Debate me once and the logic hits. Debate me twice and the whole room splits. I bring evidence sharp as a battle chant. Every argument backed by a body that's brand. I'm the student who studied the art of pain. Turned every failure into functional gain. Mind like a furnace, body like a blade. Rise scholar mentality, fully made. Mind stays sharp when the world goes tense. Strength becomes logic when the grind gets dense. Wisdom in the chaos where the fists agree. Rise scholar rise in with a new degree. I'm a riot scholar, brains on blast. Punchlines hit like a deadlift cast. Read the world's rules, then I broke them clean. Now I train with the fury no book has seen. Riot scholar, mind upgraded, muscles forged and adrenaline braided. When the beat goes wild and the weights collide, I turn every thought to a battle cry stride. Ink on my hands from the truths I write. Blood on the ball from the wars I fight. Knowledge is a weapon when the world turns cold. Rise scholar rise in with a mind of gold. I'm a riot scholar, sharp unshaken. Strength so loud it can't be mistaken. When the pressure boils and the theories break, I stand in the fire with the truth I make.
Styles, Chaos, and Creed. Rod scholar born from a violent need. If they ask who taught me this energy, tell them wisdom and rage wrote the legacy.
Yeah, yo. Breath on fire, heartbeat hunting. Floor keeps shaking like the world's confronting. Eyes locked forward with a primal intent. Hunger into my chest that'll never relent. I wake up starving for a way to crush. No breakfast, just adrenaline rush. Mind in attack mode, feed on steel. Looking for a challenge I could bite and feel. I run on instincts, sharp as a blade. Hunger in the veins that'll never fade. Every rep screams loud like a wild stampede. Every failure's fuel for the beast I feed. People wanna talk, but they don't want heat. They want clean wins without dirty feet. But I grew teeth in the middle of pain. Turned every setback into hunger regained. When the bar gets heavy, I sink my jaw. Clench that grip like a carnivore law. My hunger doesn't rest when the lights go low. With claws inside till the power grows. No pause, no break, no slow down hit. Hunger in my core that'll never quit. When the world gets quiet and the grip draws sweat, I push to the beast inside gets fed. I got hunger without exit, pressure in my bones, rage in the bloodstream, breaking through zones. When the weight gets cruel and the breath turns tight, I rise with a force that divides the fight. Hunger without exit, fuel in my stride. Every moment, taking in pride. No finish line written in the path I tread. I just feed the beast till the limit's dead. I learned to crave what the weak ones fear. Burned every excuse till the sky went clear. Hunger is the fire that rewires my frame. Turns the heat of the grind into untamed flame. Knees locked firm, heartbeat savage. Appetite built from the scars I manage. Sweat drips hot like a furnace roar. I'm starving for more, always more, always more. I don't chase comfort, I chase the edge. Stand on the cliff where the fearless pledge. Every rep is a bite from a concrete wall. Every lift is a hunt where the prey must fall. Muscles screaming, mind still sharp. Hunger like a wolf in the stadium dark. When the moment hits hard and the lungs collapse, I claw through the weakness till the strength snaps back. No pause, no break, no slow down hit. Hunger in my core that'll never quit. When the world gets quiet and the grip draws sweat, I push till the beast inside gets fed. I got hunger without exit, pressure in my bones, rage in the bloodstream, breaking through zones. When the weight gets cruel and the breath turns tight, I rise with a force that devours the fight. Hunger without exit, fuel in my stride. Every heavy moment, taking in pride. No finish line written in the path I tread. I just feed the beast till the limit's dead. This craving grows when the room goes still. Hunger so loud it could bend my will, but instead of breaking, I break the grind. Turn the whole damn gym into food for my mind. Hunger without exit, no slowing pace. Strength carved deep in the furnace chase. When the sweat goes wild and the pain gets red, I rise like a creature that the world misread. If they ask what drives me past the edge I hit, tell them hunger in my chest, never learned to quit. Hunger without exit, my eternal lead. I train to consume what the weak ones dread. Neon haze dripping down on broken wall. Heartbeats pulsing like a tribal call. Smoke curls up where the shadows bend. Ritual begins when the street lights in. Step in the night with the blaze in my veins. Fluorescent blood running off the chain. City turns red when my aura ignites. Every rep blowing like a warfare rite. Masked up figures in the alleyway hum. Bassline pounding like a warhead drum. Sweat hits pavement with the toxic shine. Neon blood boiling through a steel set spine. I lift those blades like a summon spell. Heat so wild it could split this shell. Every motion calls a violent lure. Every breath summons something hardcore core. My crew circles up in a silent stance. Eyes locked deep like a combat trance. We train in the glow till our lungs burn through. Neon bass sparking with the savage hue. Street turns shrine when the fire expands. Rage lights up through the neon strands. Rhythm takes hold of the air we breathe. Ritual rising while the weak ones leave. Neon blood, ritual. Power in the dark, glow in my veins like a triggered spark. When the weight drops hard and the shadows split, I rise with a force that was built for grit. Neon blood, ritual. Heat in my core, strength exploding like a street side roar. Every rep ignited in the blazing
with the signs that flash. Graffiti saints watching every clash. Alleyway smoke like a battlefield mist. Hands chalk white with the radioactive twist. It goes wild when the ritual peaks. Strength unlocked for the violent streaks. Strobe lights glitch when my stance goes wide. Neon fury burning from the inner side. Hear the echo when the plates collide. City feels small from the force inside. I turn my breath into molten fire. Ritual fed by a primal desire. Every scar glows bright when the beat erupts. Neon in the bloodstream tearing things up. A ceremony forged from the grit we trust. Power awakening electric dust. Street turns shrine when the fire expands. The rage lights up through the neon strands. Rhythm takes hold of the air we breathe. Ritual rising while the weak ones leave. Neon blur ritual. Power in the dark. Glow in my veins like a triggered spark. When the weight drops hard and the shadows split, I rise with the force that was built for grit. Neon blood ritual. Heat in my core. Strength exploding like a street side roar. Every rep ignited in a blazing fit. I train like a beast that refuses to quit. Lights flicker wild when the rage takes form. Neon burns hot in a body reborn. Ritual thundering through every limb. Power so bright that the shadows dim. Neon blood ritual unleashed in the live. Every motion sharpened when the night vibes dive. Strength in the glow that the brave commit. I rise from the dark in the neon lit fair. When the city sleeps and the fire's cool, the ritual lingers like a sovereign rule. Neon in my pulse till the dawn is full. Blood stays glowing, eternal, brutal.
Yeah. 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 Skyscrapers watching like 1,000 eyes. Crowds walk numb while the real ones rise. Concrete chains rattling under my feet. Capital city slaves waking up for the heat. Clock hit 6 and they all fall in line. Same door faces in the deadline grind. But I broke free from that dead routine. Turned the weight of the world into gasoline. Every office window shows a silent scream. People trapped deep in a profit machine. I live to destroy what they call control. Build my spine like a riot in the payroll hole. I seen suits move like program drones, but my heart beats loud through the iron zones. Barbell physics tearing off they script. Power in my hands that they can't predict. City wants slaves that obey and crawl, but I train like a storm built to crack that wall. If the system wants silence, I give it shot. Capital chain snap when the plate's unlocked. Can't cage strength when the rage gets loud. Can't rule fire when it burns too proud. We rise from the floors where the numb obey. Capital city slaves breaking out today. We are capital city slaves on a heavy revolt, crushing every shackle that they build by default. When the weight hits hard and the pressure caves, we turn iron into freedom, unmade slaves. Capital city slaves, rage in our stride. Fist full of power that we never hide. Every rep, every breath, every move we raise breaks another system made to keep us dazed. Yeah, traffic comes like a sedated choir. People stand still while my lungs breathe fire. They scroll through chains they don't even see. But I train for a world that refuses to be. Muscles loaded like a counterattack. Every lift pushes dead culture back. Strike the ground hard with the rebel glare. I don't fit in the blueprint they built out there. Corporate towers try to plop the sky, but I climb past ceilings they said defy. Legs burnt strong like a riot climb. Capital city fades while I redefine. Every order thrown at me melts on steel. Every state quiet bends to what I feel. I wasn't made for the life they save. I was built to disrupt what the city enslaved. Can't cage strength when the rage gets loud. Can't rule fire when it burns too proud. We rise from the floors where the numb obey. Capital city slaves breaking out today. We are capital city slaves on a heavy revolt, crushing every shackle that they built by default. When the weight hits hard and the pressure caves, we turn iron into freedom, unmade slaves. Capital city slaves, rage in our stride. Fist full of power that we never hide. Every rep, every breath, every move we raise breaks another system made to keep us dazed. Blinded crowd moves while we break the mold. Strength is a
slaves on a warpath now. Fury on our backs, they can't disavow. When the pressure floods and the skyline waves, we rise unbroken, unruled, unsaved. If the city calls for the ones who obey, tell them we left when the chains gave way. Capital city slaves, no more we blaze. Built a new world from the wreckage we raise. Yeah. Yeah. Dust kicks up when my heel hits ground. Ash cloud trail when I turn that sound. Past on fire in a fading streak. Ashes on my sneakers every time I peek. I leave scorch marks on the roads I run. Burnt out pieces of the man I was spun. Mind on heat when the sunrise hits. Every step sparks off the doubts I quit. Sneakers carry flames from the battles I fought. Every mile paid back for the time I got caught. Used to drag pain like a chain behind. Now I burn through limits with the furnace mine. Yeah, breath goes sharp like a piston strike. Legs on charge when the pressure spikes. Past tries grabbing at my ankles weak, but ash blows off when I raise technique. Sun beats down on the desert pace. Heat on my skin like a war embrace. I'm not running away, I'm running through, burning everything that tried to block my view. Dust turns gold when the power grows. Ashes live fire when my heartbeat flows. Old ghosts fade in the trail I break. I rise from the scorch with the force I make. I got ashes on my sneakers from the life I burn. Step so hard, every edge gets turned. When the grind goes wild and the heat runs deep, I climb through the flames they said I couldn't keep. Ashes on my sneakers, proof I ascended. Every lost version of me got ended. When the work is rough and the doubts all speak, I leave them burning in the dust I leak it. Smoke on my stride when the tempo climbs. Heat wave rhythm in the post-side time. Every footfall writes a victory note. Every sprint leaves scars that I outwrote. Streets once felt like a trap so tight. Now they buckle when my stance ignites. Pavement cracks under all this might. Ash falls back in the glow in flight. Momentum rising like a flare on steel. Body goes primal when the burn gets real. No cool down phase when I'm locked like this. A rage in my run with the Wi-Fi kiss. Past memories crumble when my shadow lands. Ash on the ground from the broken strands. I don't mourn anything that I left behind. It all turns fuel when the flames align. Dust turns gold when the power grows. Ashes live fire when my heartbeat flows. Old ghosts fade in the trail I break. I rise from the scorch with the force I make. I got ashes on my sneakers from the life I burn. Step so hard, every edge gets turned. When the grind goes wild and the heat runs deep, I climb through the flames they said I couldn't keep. Ashes on my sneakers, proof I ascended. Every lost version of me got ended. When the world turns rough and the doubts all speak, I leave them burning in the dust I leak it. Heat in my lungs when the horizon glows. Flames in my stride with the courage grows. Ash raining down but I don't slow pace. I run like fire taking over space. Ashes on my sneakers burn my way through. Strength in the blaze that the old me knew. When the final spark hits and the night runs weak, I stand unbroken on the trail I streak. Dust settles slow when my heartbeat hums. Ash on my shoes from the place I'm from. If they ask where the old me sleeps, tell them under the fire in the path I keep, yeah. Keep, yeah.
Feathers burned onto a glowing trace. Halo cracked open on a steel cold base. Wings long gone but the power stayed. Broken halo flex when the iron gets laid. I fell hard from a sky that lost my name. Hit the ground running with a furnace flame. Heaven didn't want the storm I bred, so I built new wings out of plates instead. Grip so tight it could bend the dawn. Heat in my chest like a world reborn. Every rep echoes like celestial war. Every lift shakes gates I don't bow for. I'm the angel they dropped when they feared my rise. Now I train like a myth in immortal disguise. Sweat turns bright like a holy spark. Flex so strong it could split the dark. Back arch deep with a righteous drive. Barbell screaming like it's alive. My halo cracked but the glow stayed red. Proof I'm powered by the battles I bled. When the weight gets cruel and the pressure bites, I ignite like a star in collapsing nights. Heaven
a resurrection I don't regret. I shine through the cracks they try to forget.
Dust lifts up when my stance goes wide. Shadow on the floor looks twice my size. I'm not cursed, I'm charged, redesigned. Drop from the heights to rebuild my mind. Iron hits skin like a judgment call, but I don't break, I evolve through all. My sweat drips holy in a twisted way. Blessed by the grind that made me sway.
People fear storms they can't contain. I learned to channel all the fallen pain. Turn divine ruin to a ruthless craft. Now the cosmos trembles when I lift that half. Halo roll fragments rattle when the plates collide. Glow from my chest like a solar tide. Heaven might have closed, but I forced the breach. Broken halo flex with the power they preach. When the weight gets cruel and the pressure bites, I ignite like a star in collapsing nights. Heaven lost track of the force I project. Broken halo lit when the storms connect. Broken halo flex, power from the fall. Strength so loud it can fracture walls. When the iron roars back and the lights compress, I rise like a rebel with a godlike press. Broken halo flex, rage in my frame. Muscles carved sharp like a burning flame. Every rep a resurrection I don't regret. I shine through the cracks they try to forget. God didn't break me, it forged my art. Falling, yes, but never torn apart. Glowing my scars like a cosmic text, written in the sweat of a halo flex. Broken halo flex, unchained divine. Power reborn through a mortal spine. When the steel strikes hard and the ground reflects, the strongest angels are the ones it rejects. Lights dim slow as my heartbeat steadies. Broken halo bright when the world gets heavy. They threw me down, but they failed the test, because I rise in the flames with a halo flex. With a halo flex.
Yeah. Steel floor shaking when my stance locks tight. Breath cut sharp like a punch through night. Every weak vibration gets thrown out loud. This room's for the ones who train wall bound. I walk in heavy with the furnace core. No soft side living in my frame no more. Mine stays brutal when the plates get stacked. Comfort stayed home, I don't want it back. Sweat hits ground like a warning shot. Anyone timid better step out the spot. The space built for the ones who grind, for the heart on fire and the iron mind. Pressure climbs fast when the beat goes wild. Every rep hits harder than a street-born child. I don't cater to soft, don't nurture ease. I want lungs on fire and to burn that bleeds. Bodies around me feel the shift I bring. Atmosphere tight like a lotus spring. If you're here for the edge, then claim your crown. If you're soft in the chest, put the dumbbells down. No whispers here, only rage compressed. No gentle moves when the bar gets pressed. If softness calls, I leave it disallowed. Strength is the law, and the law screams loud. No soft side allowed, this is iron domain, where the weak get crushed by the weight and strain. When the roar kicks in and the grind gets proud, we rise like beasts, no soft side allowed. No soft side allowed, heart carved in steel. Every breath aggressive, every motion real. When the pressure grows and the plates get loud, we stand unbroken, no soft side allowed. Chalk on my hands like a battle creed. Nothing in my stance says take it easy. I train with the fury that the calm reject. Intensity built like a cause and effect. Bar bends low when my shoulders brace. Gravity shakes when I deadlift space. I don't cool off when the pain's inbound. Pain is a language I speak profound. People look twice when the reps get grim, but I go deeper when the lights grow dim. Soft hearts crack from the force I wield. I'm a storm dressed up in the training field. Comfort hides when the heat turns red. I chase the edge till my doubts drop dead. Nothing in this room lets softness breathe. You either toughen up or you choose to leave. No whispers here, only rage compressed. No gentle moves when the bar gets pressed. If softness calls, I leave it disallowed. Strength is the law, and the law screams loud. No soft side allowed, this is iron domain, where the weak get crushed by the weight and strain. When the roar kicks in and the grind gets proud, we rise like beasts. No soft side allowed. No soft side allowed, hard carved
carved in steel. Every breath aggressive, every motion real. When the pressure grows and the plates get loud, we stand unbroken, no soft side allowed. Air gets tight when the grind unfolds. Heat climbs high till the wheel explodes. Soft fades out when the strong get loud. Only one rule, no soft side allowed. No soft side allowed, etched in my bones. Strength built wide all through the danger zones. When the weight drops hard and the fear gets bowed, I rise relentless, no soft side allowed. If the world wants easy, let them walk away. I train where the brave and the ruthless stay. This room is a creed that we all avow. No soft side here, only power now.
Go silent when the breath cuts thin. Heartbeat pounding like a riot within. Vision tunneling to a razor line. Blackout training in the war-born mind. I hit the floor with a furnace pace. Lights fade out when the grind hits base. Sweat pours down like a blackout rain. Every rep swallows up the human strain. Grip so tight it could bend the night. Pressure so raw it could fracture light. My lungs go wild in the burning spin. Blackout coming but I don't give in. I chase the edge till the world turns mute. Till the walls blur out and the nerves reboot. I don't need calm, I need overload. I need that blackout beast mind mode. Barbell screaming when I lock my stance. Every set feels like a combat trance. If the darkness calls and I answer twice. I train so hard that I sever the ice. Light flicks out when the power spikes. Body in revolt when the soul ignites. Every breath heavy yet the steel I hold. Blackout rising through a heart too bold. Blackout training vision fades to black. Strength erupts when the senses crack. When the weight hits fierce and the world gets blurred. I become the storm that can't be deterred. Blackout training hard and detonate. Push so deep the ground vibrates. When the room goes dim and the pain turns loud, I rise unbroken, blackout proud. Air gets thin when I load that bar. Sound slow down like the distant far. Hands go numb but the will gains heat. Blackout state where the monsters meet. If the lights cut out, I don't step back. I lean in harder till the shadows crack. Energy surging like a blown out fuse. Blackout force, I refuse to lose. Head rush hitting like a steel core wave. Body locked in a relentless crave. Every neuron screaming but the muscles roar. Blackout zone where I'm built for war. People fear the edge, I live there clean. Train in the void where the thoughts go lean. Nothing left but the grind I chase. Blackout glory in a savage pace. Light flicks out when the power spikes. Body in revolt when the soul ignites. Every breath heavier than steel I hold. Blackout rising through a heart too bold. Blackout. Blackout. Blackout training vision fades to black. Strength erupts when the senses crack. When the weight hits fierce and the world gets blurred, I become the storm that can't be deterred. Blackout training hard and detonate. Push so deep the ground vibrates. When the room goes dim and the pain turns loud, I rise unbroken, blackout proud. Darkness close in a circular sweep, but the force I wield runs far too deep. Blackout moment is the price I pay to rise beyond what the strong convey. Blackout training limit torn apart. Beat so loud it can restart a heart. When the senses fade and the nerves get bowed, I stand immortal. Blackout crown. When the lights come back and the sweat runs free. Floor still shaking from the force in me. Blackout training etched in my vow. If you hear the voice, step aside right now.
Down, PK. Give it to me already.
No throne, no crown, no gold on me. Yet the room goes quiet when I plant my feet. Power in my stance like a war-born ring. I don't need a crown to be a king. I walk through the gym like I own the ground. No jewels, no robe, but I shift the sound. Air gets thick when my grip locks tight. Presence alone makes the weak take flight. Every rep hits deep like a kingdom forge. Every bar raises a realm in large. Strength in my chest like a royal law. When I flex that frame, they forget what they saw. I was never chosen, I built this throne. Raised from the dirt like a force unknown. No coronation, just sweat and scars. Made my crown from a lifetime of battles and bars. People crave titles they never earn. I forge mine loud while the iron burn. My name carved deep where the strong convene. Crownless king, built not seen. No ceremony needed, no anthem sung. Power speaks louder when the words go unsung. I lead with the weight, with the heat I bring. You don't get crowned, you won't become the king. I'm a crownless king with a force untamed. No gold on my head, but the world still framed. When the weight drops hard and the walls all ring, everyone steps back for the crownless king. No, crownless king, earned through pain. Power in the spine, thunder in the vein. No royal blood, just the grind I fling. Strength bounds to the crownless king. Iron in my hands like a scepter strike. Every lift commands like a ruling right. Back, stay straight like the Cree of war. Feet locked firm like a law on the floor. I didn't rise because they let me through. I rose because force is what kings do. Climb from the bottom with a ruthless pace. Turn the life of chaos into sovereign grace. No velvet seat, just a bench of steel. No castle walls, just the strength I feel. Every drop of sweat on this battlefield zone is another brick in the empire I own. People talk crowns like they're born to claim. I talk results, and they frame my name when I push that bar in the metal sings. You can't deny the reign of a crownless king. No ceremony needed, no anthem sung. Power speaks louder when the words go unsung. I lead with the weight, with the heat I bring. You don't get crowned, you won't become the king. I'm a crownless king with a force untamed. No gold on my head, but the world still framed. When the weight drops hard and the walls all ring, everyone steps back for the crownless king. Crownless king, earned through pain. Power in the spine, thunder in the vein. No royal blood, just the grind I fling. Strength bows down to crownless king. Crowns fall off when the fear cuts through. Kings stay kings in the work they do. Symbol or not, I embody the thing. You don't need shine to let dominance ring. I'm a crownless king with a claim to real. Strength in the voice and the weight I feel. No circlet born, just the force I bring. And the whole room bows for the crownless king. If they ask where my kingdom lies, tell them under the bar where the legends rise. No throne, no title, just the truth I swing. I was born to rule as a crownless king. Crownless king.
Yeah, boom, share.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, heat in the room when the shadow snaps. Touch so sharp it could cut the raps. Love like poison with a sugar bite. Toxic paradise when we spark the night. Hey, she walks in loud like a matchstick flame. Eyes so wild they can't spell my name. Energy hits like a shot to the core. Every look says break me more. We clash like storms on the metal floor. Push, pull, burn, then we wanted more. Rage in the voice with a velvet tone. Power in a touch, go straight to the bone. We don't do calm, we do overload. We don't do soft, we do pressure mode. Train in the chaos, we both ignite. Lust and fury in a single bite. Love like this ain't meant to feel safe. It's meant to wake up the strongest traits. Heartbeat pounding like a brutal set. Toxic paradise is the best I get. She pulls me in like a violent spark. Glowing eyes when the room goes dark. Heat so strong it can fracture steel. Toxic paradise and the burn feels real. Toxic paradise, fire and a kiss. Danger in the rhythm that I can't resist. When she hits my world with that wild device. Pain turns pleasure in a toxic paradise. Toxic paradise, breath too loud. Chemistry violent, energy proud. When the lights go red and the pulse turns vice, I train like a beast in a toxic paradise. Yeah, she breaks my calm with a wicked grin. Hands on my frame when the rest begin.
scent. Smile so sweet it could circumvent, but touch too hot for a mortal mind. Paradise twisted in the savage grind. Yeah, we fight, we laugh, we burn, we heal, we spark explosions that the calm can't feel. Every argument a pre-work got hit. Every makeup moment makes the ground submit. Bar on my back when the voice cuts through. She says push more and my power grew. She feeds my rage while she steals my breath. Toxic paradise, life or death. She pulls me in like a violent spark, glowing her eyes when the room goes dark. Heat so strong it can fracture steel. Toxic paradise and the burn feels real. Toxic paradise, fire and a kiss. Danger in the rhythm that I can't resist. When she hits my world with that wild advice. Pain turns pleasure in a toxic paradise. Toxic pair and a kiss. Danger in the rhythm that I can't resist. When she hits my world with that wild advice. Pain turns pleasure in a toxic paradise. Two hearts clashing in the furnace glow. Heat so high that the walls might blow. We don't chase peace, we chase the rise. Power in the flames of a toxic paradise. Toxic paradise, burning alive. Strength in the chaos where the fear survive. When her touch hits deep and the world turns ice. I rise reborn in a toxic paradise. She walks away with a trail of heat. Paradise toxic but damn elite. If fire had a face and desire a price, I'd pay it again for that toxic paradise. Yeah, system glitching when my pulse ignites. Neon code dripping through electric nights. Mind corrupted with the violent bias. Uploading strength like a digital rage virus. I boot up heavy in the chrome lit zone. Heart rate sounding like a dial tone drone. Circuit sparks popping when the bass line hits. Every neuron twitching in electromagnetic fits. Yeah, metal on my skin like a cyber play. Breathing in static when I elevate. Eyes flick red when the core overloads. Digital rage breaking through the nodes. I'm a co-mutation built in the grind. An upgrade forged from the darkest mind. Data streams roar through my tempered spine. Charging up strength in the glitch design. Iron in my hands like a weapon mod. Frame locked tight with the CPU god. Push through limits in the debug storm. Digital rage in the human form. System wars warning, rage detected. Body scan show, power perfected. If the world tries shutting my circuits down, the virus rewrites till I take the crown. Digital rage virus running in my veins. Power in the glitch that the flesh sustains. When the beat distorts and the lights start to split, I evolve through the static with the vengeance lit. Yeah. Digital rage virus. Digital rage virus. Digital rage virus. With the ball through the static with the vengeance lit. Pixels scatter when my stance locks wide. Shockwave bursts on the floor, I stride. Electric breath boiling in my throat. I train like a system built to overload. Chrome reflections glitch when I flex. Voltage rising with the brutal index. Hands go numb from the current spike. Digital wildness in the core ignite. I'm half machine when the flow kicks in. Sweat turns neon on my armored skin. Plates collide with the cyber clank. Virus in control of the strength I bank. I race so raw it corrupts the feed. Power too strong for the code to read. Every rep rejects a forbidden patch. Digital fury in the primal batch. System wars warning, rage detected. Body scan show, power perfected. If the world tries shutting my circuits down, the virus rewrites till I take the crown. Digital rage virus running in my veins. Power in the glitch that the flesh sustains. When the beat distorts and the lights start to split, I evolve through the static with the vengeance lit. Digital rage virus coded to a sin. Strength in the fractures, no firewall can defend. When the world turns slow, when the signals quit, I break every limit with the digital hit. Neon sparks fly when the firmware cracks. Rage uploads through the spinal tracks. System rebooted with the primal twist. Digital virus in the power fist. Digital rage virus built to ignite. Strength in the glitch, domination in sight. When the world shuts down and the screens go split, I rise, the immortal in the digital fit. Static settles, but the core stays live. Virus in my blood makes the power thrive. If strength that code in furious script. Digital virus is the force I quit.
Ash on my chest from the life I burn. Dust in my throat from the path I turn. Smoke in my lungs from the pain I face. Hood phoenix rising from a fire I chase. I died once under neon rain. Broke my own wings in a cage of pain. Concrete cold when my breath gave out. Street road silence where I used to shout. But flames don't fear a body that breaks. They feed on the pieces that the struggle makes. Heat hit deep when the night fell hard. Furnace lit up every berry shard. I woke in the smoke with a molten spine. Hands on fire, pulse redesigned. The hood looked up when I stood again. Ash on my skin, but alive like 10. Now I run through alleys with a blazing stride. Every step leaving scorched earth wide. Old me burned, but the new me thrives. Phoenix reborn where the struggle survive. Phoenix reborn where the struggle survive. Feathers of flame on the back once torn. Strength gets sharper when the weak get worn. Heat in my breath from the life I kill. Phoenix in the hood with an unchained wheel. Hood phoenix, theory rise from the scorch. Turn every setback into fire's torch. When the world burns down and the night gets grim, I rise from the ashes with a power brim. Hood phoenix, theory, dust of flame. Strength reborn with a brand new name. When the street says fall, I refuse that call. I fly from the ground like I open all. They left me cold on a crackback street. No pulse loud enough to match my beat. But he came crawling like a warning sign. Told me burn through, make the power mine. Now I live like a creature made from sparks. Eyes glow red when the training starts. Bar bill smoking when my stance locks tight. Phoenix form glowing in the dead of night. People fear flames they can't decode. But I'm the fire in the combat mode. Sweat hits ground like a lava drip. Heat wave aura in a brutal grip. Ribs expand with a solar war. Feet leave print shaped like a meteor. I don't rise once, I rise non-stop. Phoenix in the hood with a rooftop drop. Phoenix in the hood with a rooftop drop. Phoenix in the hood with a rooftop drop. Feathers of flame on the back once torn. Strength gets sharper when the weak get worn. Heat in my breath from the life I kill. Phoenix in the hood with an unchained will. Hood phoenix, theory rise from the scorch. Turn every setback into fire's torch. When the world burns down and the night gets grim, I rise from the ashes with a power brim. Hood phoenix, theory, dust to flame. Strength reborn with a brand new name. When the street says fall, I refuse that call. I fly from the ground like I outrun all. Ashes lift when the wings unfold. Body reborn from the streets I hold. Heat in my chest like a prophecy said. Phoenix reborn with no regret. Hood phoenix, theory rebirth supreme. Rise through the smoke like a burning dream. When the fire calls back and the shadows crawl, I roar through the night like I outgrew all. If they ask where the old me dies, point to the flames where my spirit flies. Hood phoenix, theory, never control. Reborn in the dust with a heart of gold. Yo, lights drop low when the war drums hit. Floor vibrates heavy from the force I spit. Crowd goes silent when the stance comes bare. Eternal mic warfare, enter if you dare. I breathe fire when the beat ignites. Words strike harder than the potted bites. Every line loaded like a forged steel blade. Every rhyme lands like a world remade. I train my lungs like a weapon core. Voice hits loud like a closing door. No stage too big, no threat too tall. I punch through bass till the ceiling falls. Or when I grip that mic, the voltage snaps. A shockwave rolling through the speaker gaps. Competitors crumble when the tone goes wild. My cadence breaks bones with the rhythm styled. I'm the type who steps in the packed out zone and turns every echo into solid stone. Mic in my hand like a battlefield crown. Bars so heavy that they shake the ground. Yeah, sound wave sharpen when my breath takes aim. Every verse carved in a war-bound flame. When the tension spikes and the pulse lays bare, I unleash the storm of eternal warfare. Eternal mic warfare, strength in my voice. Power in the cadence, dominance by choice. When the beat hits hard and the whole room stares, I tear down worlds with eternal mic warfare. Eternal mic warfare, heat in my tone. Every single syllable breaks another throne. When the bassline roars and the brave don't scare, I reign unchallenged in eternal mic warfare. Heartbeat syncs with the kick so tight. Chest vibrates like a dynamite light. I spit like a soldier who refused the grave. Yeah, lyrics like bullets in the war pathway. Yeah, crowd steps back when my
Shadowlands. Stage turns battlefield in my bare hands. Words hit precise like a sniper shot. Yeah, flow so lethal, it rewrites the plot. I trained in silence, sharpened the grip. Studied the pressure till I mastered it. Now the mic stays shaking in the crimson glow. Every bar detonates with the god tier flow. Yeah, enemies twitch when my breath draws in. They feel the grip before the verse begins. Yeah, once I start, there's no safe there. I drag them deep in the warfare lair. Sound waves sharpen when my breath takes aim. Every verse carved in the war-bound flame. When the tension spikes and the pulse lays bare, I unleash the storm of eternal warfare. Eternal mic warfare, strength in my voice. Power in the cadence, dominance by choice. When the beat hits hard and the whole room stares, I tear down worlds with eternal mic warfare. Eternal mic warfare, heat in my tone. Every single syllable breaks another bone. When the bass line roars and the brave don't scare, I reign unchallenged in eternal mic warfare. No armor needed when the flow cuts clean. Voice so sharp it splits the scene. Yeah, rhythm and rage in the perfect pair. I was born